Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the intro moment. I am ST3, the editor. We're going to get into the main episode here in just over a minute or so. But I want to take a moment while we are seeing some evolutions here. We're seeing Tailo go to Swellow. We're seeing Gibble into Gabite. We are seeing Ghastly into Haunter. We are seeing Grotle into Torterra. A quick backstory, the way I recorded these was I would get a Pokemon up to the level before its evolution. So, for example, Ghastly, when I got to level 24, I would stop my recording. I would start a fresh recording so I could try to capture just that training group, montage to the evolution, and then stop it after the evolution. And then that would be my little bit of video that I could go through and edit smaller clips. Well, somehow in doing that, I missed both Claydol and Haunter into Gengar, so you're not going to see those here. But here are the other 4 evolutions that I didn't screw up, and in a moment we will get to the episode. Thanks, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, for the first time, since the last time, it's that time, right about that time, for your favorite Pokemon challenge and mine. My name is Sebastian Ton the third. You may call me ST3, and this is the Pokemon HeartGold Randomizer Nuzlocke, the first series we've ever done here on the channel, and we have made it to episode 16. Spoiler alert, even easy for me to say. If you haven't seen episode 15, go back and watch that right now. All right, welcome back. For those of you who either already saw it or just finished watching it, you know that we only barely made it to episode 16. So, as you probably saw in the intro moment, if the editing went well, we have been slowly but surely rebuilding the team. So instead of doing a quick team recap, we're going to put the team back together here in just a second. But before we do, we're going to continue here where I have been grinding and training up the team. And we are going to, as a collective unit, as a team here, you, me, everybody here in this little community we're starting to build, we're going to get Denny P67. One more level. And we're going to start this off on a high note. We're going to start this off with an evolution. And just so you know, I got us this close. This should do it. This should put us over the edge. 692 experience points. It's more than enough to get us to level 42. We should see our Rhydon right here. And as we do, don't forget to drink your water. Stay out of the Gatorade bottle. But let us see this beautiful evolution. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Denny P67, the Rhydon, who wants to learn Hammer Arm. And we want her to learn Hammer Arm. Don't we want her to learn Hammer Arm? In fact, we want her to learn Hammer Arm so much that I think we're going to get rid of Tail Whip, which has come in clutch on occasions. It came in clutch in episode 15. Those 2 Tail Whips may have been the reason that Brodekan was ultimately able to take down the legendary in the gym. I can't remember if it was Latios or Latios at this point because we've been grinding for a while. And if that call from Professor Oak was like the other calls from Professor Oak while I've been grinding here, he was calling to say, hey, are you catching Pokemon? Because you're killing a lot of them. So, let's look at the team. Let's look at everybody we've got and built up. Let's start by paying homage. I wanted to do this on camera with each of you. If you saw episode 15, you know that in the end, we ended up having to say goodbye to Venus, our Ivysaur. So we'll bring Venus over there. And then, of course, to Rome, our Togetic, who's holding a heart scale, which we are definitely going to take off of him before we let him go. Take the heart scale there, and we're going to move Togetic, aka Rome, there as well. So, let us start down here. We started grinding, but we only got Swellow, aka Swell Guy, up to level 22 because once he evolved, he accrued the ability of Klutz, which means he can no longer hold items, which means he can't hold the experience share, which is how we grinded most of these Pokemon up. So, Klutz will only be on the team for the purposes of flying. You can see that Denny P67 is here, and she has water absorb. We knew that was coming. We knew it. So we're going to keep her on the team. And in this episode, we will make the determination. Do we put the protector on or do we not? Obviously, we are keeping Dugong here. You can see now level 39 on zombie, level 42 for our Rhydon, aka Denny P67. Brodacon will come back on the team as well. Level 43 came in clutch, getting that final blow in for us in that gym battle against the Latios, I think it was. And then let's also, of course, add Luca the Lucario, level 37, which is kind of the soft cap I put on us in most of this training. As you can see, not everybody stayed there, but we had to get everybody up. We tried to do the best we can. From there, I only got Gabite up to level 24, aka Hammer, because it doesn't evolve into a Garchomp for a very long time. And so this will probably be something that we don't train up until even after the 8th and final gym. And if it ends up on the team, it probably will not be until we are going into the Elite Four. I am going to take the experience share back off, though, so that we have that with us. All right. So, despite what I've said about Umbreon in previous episodes, we did level up our Umbreon to level 37, even to level 40. The difficulty here is that it has color change. So if it gets hit by any kind of move, it becomes that typing, which could be to our advantage depending on what we get hit with and by who, but isn't really ideal. So we're going to leave him down here with our Swellow. From there, we had a grass type on the team. We had Venus. So I trained up the two other stars we had. That was Torterra, who now has Poison Point, level 37, and then Meganium, who we had all along, but got him up to level 37. We're going to bring Bartlett on the team. As you can see, Petal Dance, Synthesis, Razor Leaf, and Poison Powder. We'll go through all that in a moment. And then we're going to take a look at the rest of the team. We're going to throw Swell Guy on just so we can move, fly back pretty quickly, but we did get Claydol up to level 37, Power Trick, Psybeam, Ancient Power, and Hyper Beam on our Claydol. We got Torterra, as we mentioned. We got Rampardos just up a little bit and did learn Zen Headbutt to go with Rock Slide, Assurance, and Ancient Power. And then, of course, we got Ghastly all the way up through a Gengar, Shadow Ball, Payback, Shadow Punch, and Nightshade. So a very good-looking mon there. And very good chance that we're going to see Gengar on the team here today because just a good move pool and good type diversity for us. But that is the team. That is the squad. In today's episode, we are going to take on gym number 7 and see what we can get done in the Rocket Hideout. And then we will, from there, we'll just kind of see where we're at, really. About 45 minutes for this episode here today. And this is Friday, so welcome into Friday. And I haven't said this yet, but if you have made it this far to episode 16, I hope you are enjoying your time here. I imagine that you might be because you've made it to episode 16, but if you are, please hit the like button down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it greatly. And as you know, this is the first but not the last series on the channel. We are doing everything we can to make this channel a community. That's the goal. Something we can have fun, conquer our fear. That's our rival in this in this challenge. So that's what we are looking to do in this. But build that community, have that connection, have some fun playing Pokemon, have a little stress playing Pokemon like we did in episode 15. But that is really the goal here. So if you are enjoying it, hit like, hit the subscribe. If you're not enjoying it and you've still come to episode 16, leave a comment down below with some constructive criticism. And I hope you've seen all the wonderful advancements we've made in the editing world. We already wasted about 8 minutes going over some of the team recap stuff, just in gameplay alone, let alone the intro moment with the, I believe it's 7 evolutions we got in training. Some of you we've seen just there, but yeah, so busy training upstream. I promised I would train the team up in between episodes. Full disclosure, we are recording this on the day that episode 15 goes up, so you are watching it maybe right this moment as I am recording episode 16. It's going to be a short recording session tonight. We are just doing episode 16 tonight. This will be Friday's episode, so happy Friday. I hope you are excited for the weekend to come. I hope your work week, if that is your work week, went well. and that you are about to get the rest that you need. So we are tanking on our 7th gym, and we've had legends all up and down the board, but we're high enough level. I think we're going to be fine. Leader Max is going to send out a Claydol of her own. We are not worried about a Claydol. No offense to Claydol, because we have Zombie, aka the MVP, aka the Legend Killer. Zombie the Dugong on our side. Sunbeam will do some kind of damage, but we're 9 levels higher, so it won't do a lot. And we have Surf, which is super duper effective on Claydol and should one-shot it. But yeah, tomorrow, Friday. Ooh, it did not one-shot the Claydol. That's okay. We're going to get a little chip damage off here with Aqua Jet, which Zombie learned during our training. It's about 2.5 hours training yesterday, Wednesday, 2 days ago when you see this. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to record this episode, just a 1-episode quick recording session here. And then tomorrow, a.k.a. Friday, and or today for you all watching. I know it gets confusing. But on Friday, I will record episodes 17, 18, and I think 19 even, get us through the weekend and into Monday, so that we have some time over the weekend to, I don't remember what came in, Electrode. We're not scared because we have motor drive. So yeah, we're going to try to get ourselves ahead a little bit tomorrow, but tonight just trying to get this done so we have some time to edit in the evolutions and really prep everything so it's looking good. So Electrode probably won't do much to us because all of its big damaging moves we resist at this point having motor drive, which makes life easy. Why the Gatorade bottle? Nobody's asking, but again, drink your water. If you're using a disposable, please don't forget to recycle. But the big reason I am using the Gatorade bottle today is not that long ago, roughly the 1 shower ago, I did a 45-minute Peloton ride, which is the longest I have ever done on a Peloton. And, I didn't think about self-destruct. We're high enough level. We should be okay. This shouldn't take down Zombie. Oh my gosh. And down goes the MVP. We could have put in Denny P67, who it's not super effective against. We could have put in Wendy, and it wouldn't be effective at all. Swift wouldn't have been effective. That one's on me. 1,000% that one's on me. Well, I will say, as much as that sucks, I don't have anything good to say. That hurts. We do have other water types in the PC. I forgot that we had more than just Finneon in episode 15 when we were debating who we might need to sack off, but we did not mean to lose. And it was a crit. So if they don't crit, if it isn't a crit explosion, do we live? There's no way to know. Let's see if we can get more than 2 right here and take down this Gengar. 3 hits. Just 2 times. Shadow Punch we can take. That's better than Sucker Punch. We snap out, but we miss anyway. We take Shadow Punch. We just proved it. As long as we hit, we take down the Gengar. We win the gym. Well. Well, it gives us a good idea of who we're going to put the experience share on. I didn't want to overlevel. I mean, we overleveled. I didn't want to vastly overlevel everybody because I thought, hey, I could go get a cigar chomp right now, level 48, I believe it is. But I didn't want to take away the challenge of the Nuzlocke. I clicked a little bit too many times. Yes, we want you to save money still. Thank you. But we didn't want to get rid of the challenge of the Nuzlocke, so I didn't want to go super over leveled there. I don't think that really mattered either. It was a crit. We had other things that were also super effective, but let's not forget that our zombie had motor drive, so it like electric moves didn't affect us. So we weren't scared of the electric moves. I just not once did the thought of it having explosion cross my mind, and I probably should have thought of that. So let's look over here. I kind of organized the box a little bit too, just to kind of see what we had. Pikachu is not a water type, but the rest of these are. We have a we have a side duck, a future gold duck on the team. We have Clamperl. We're going to need an item to get an evolution either way there. Finian, who could become a Luminian. Azrael could be a team member, but yeah, another friendship evolution. We've already gone through 2 of those. I don't think that's going to be the play. And we have Omastar, who is fully evolved and already level 20. I think that's going to be our play for now. It's yet another rock type, so we still have a grass weakness that we haven't gotten anything for. We have Magby, but again, I think we sold that Magmortarizer at the beginning, so we can't get a Magmortar. We can only get a Magmar. We didn't train him up. The only bird flying type we have right now has Klutz, and it's not easy to train up, so we haven't done that. But it's interesting how we went so long in this series without a death. I'm not gonna go back for the bird. We're gonna bike. We can avoid most of the grass on the way back. But we avoided so many close calls. We had some success. I mean, Zombie led the way a lot of times, right? Bailed us out of a lot of situations, especially with legendaries. And then it's an Electrode who doesn't even have a super effective move against our motor drive Dugong. He takes us down with a crit explosion. One episode, 10 minutes in, or whatever we are, 15 minutes into the episode where we've trained everybody up because of the beatdown we took at the hand of Vladimir. So it's amazing how far you can get in, and then all of a sudden it just takes one and it snowballs. It snowballs on you. And that's what makes Nuzlocke fun and difficult, is the potential for things like that to happen. For us to run into different Pokemon who have different abilities, different types, different legendaries, etc. I think every gym has had some kind of legendary, except the one we just did. Didn't need it. It didn't need a legendary. It did not. And I will say, after the bike ride, which we got distracted from, I refilled this up. Figured let's just use that today. But yeah, as I was trying to say about the bike ride, let's go back to some positive things here. That's what we're gonna. This is gonna be the positivity episode. That is what this is. But after the bike ride, or during the bike ride, 45 minutes. My goal going into it, the longest I'd ever done before was 30. So my goal going into the 45-minute ride was simply to survive it. But I'd also, my high, I think, was about 6.25 miles or something like that. So I wanted to see if I get 7. If I got an extra 15 minutes, I can usually just about get 6 in 30. Can I get 7 miles in the extra 15 minutes? Because by 30 minutes, my legs are weak. They're worn down. So it was really just all right, you've got this time. Let's use it. Let's see what you can do. And I'm proud to say, not only did we get 7, but we get 7.51, which I know doesn't sound like a ton more, but we average 5 miles a minute, or 1 minute per 5. Easy for me to say. We average a mile every 5 minutes in the 30-minute ride, and we only added a mile and a half in the additional 15. But I'm super proud of it because, like I said, my legs are jello right now. If I could do this with my legs propped up right now, I totally would. But I'm super proud of it because I'm trying to get back into that routine. I think I've mentioned this in the past in previous episodes. When Courtney and I, my wife and I, first got our Peloton just over a year ago, I was on it every day for weeks. And that was my 5-minute ride, 10-minute ride, didn't matter, 30-minute ride. My goal at that time was just, I can be on this thing daily. I might not be good at it yet, but I can be on it daily. And then I had some health stuff. I had a surgery last year, missed a lot of time recovering and recuperating. And we got married and all that. And I just haven't been good about getting back into a routine. And I'm proud to say that we are on a 4-week streak right now in the Peloton world, where I have done at least one ride every week for the last 4. Again, big shout out to my uncle, who has been kind of helping with that. And we have been partnering up on some of these rides where, I mean, we don't see each other in that, but we can see each other's stats and, high five digitally and text between and all that. So, so shout out to him for helping me out. Forgot to go to the costume store and pick up our rocket costume for Halloween. But yeah, really just trying to get back in the groove. Last week was actually the first time I rode back-to-back days here in March 2023, but back-to-back days for the first time since July of 2022. And that just made me really happy. Again, long, long way to go, just like this series, right? Good things, good base, right? And that's all we're trying to do, is trying to form a good base, form a good kind of, good habits, good routines, stuff like that. So just really pumped to have gone, to have done 45 minutes, 7.51 miles. I don't want to shortchange myself that 1/1000th of a mile, but 7.51 miles on the bike today. And believe me, yeah, I can feel it. I then took just a really nice long hot shower, just to kind of relax, get rid of some of the sweat. I was dripping sweat. And then decided, eat some dinner, and then record and just refill the Gatorade bottle with some water. So what we can't do here. Now the rocket hideout. Sorry, the radio tower that the rockets have taken over doesn't usually give us much of a hassle, because the leveling, as many of you probably already know, in HeartGold, Soul Silver, even in Gold, Silver, Crystal, is a little bit meh and odd. So at this point, we're going to see a bunch of level 20s, and we're in the mid-30s for everybody but our Omastar. So we're not really going to worry too much about most of these trainers, unless they have something broken. Always have that, chance or an explosion crit again. But like this Magical Leaf, right? We're 13 levels high. No, we're even 18 levels higher. That did a lot more than I anticipated it to be. 18 levels higher. But we take down the Celebi. There is one battle within this whole to-do that will give us a little bit of pause. And it's not this Mewtwo, because we have Wendy on the team now, our Gengar. The perfect counter for a Mewtwo. If it outspeeds, it's a one-shot, because we are super effective. Although Mewtwo is also super effective on us. But the one battle in this whole process that we might get to today, depending on how quickly this goes, is the trainer, or the rival battle. We will battle our fear one more time. Not right now. We're going to get through the tower or the radio headquarters, whatever it is, first. We're going to go heal up after, probably several times in between. But once we do, we go down into the tunnels, and that's where fear is waiting for us in the dark underground. And we'll take on our fear. And that battle can be kind of a pain in the butt, depending on what fear has at this point, other than fear starter, which I don't even remember what the starter was. Subtile, maybe? I don't know. Apparently, this idea of leading Denny P67 in this is not ideal, because while we have Water Absorb and makes us immune to water attacks, we are still weak to grass. We are quad weak to grass, and so far both of them have led grass types. But that time Denny P67 comes through. And again, I should mention, in episode 16, shout out to Danders, the fallen Croconaw, but also to Denny P67 and Brodicon, all named after viewers who have left comments. So if you would like to be named after a Pokemon, once we can get some more encounters, please do leave a comment down below, and I will try my best to name our future encounters after you, the viewers. So here's what I'm thinking with Denny P67, because I said we got to think about this, right? This has to be the episode we talk about this. What do we do? What do we do? We have Water Absorb. We're really hopeful that one of these people has a Rhyperior, and we're easily able to figure out what Rhyperior has. Because if we evolve Rhydon up to Rhyperior, that's it. We can't unevolve. This isn't Digimon. We can't unevolve. So we either get Water Absorb Rhydon or we get Mystery Ability Rhyperior. Now, the temptation for a Mystery Ability Rhyperior is that the stats are better on Rhyperior, just all around. And there's no Eviolite in this game, or Eviolite, depending on how you want to say it. I say Eviolite. There's no Eviolite in this game, which would boost the stats of a Pokemon that's not fully evolved, such as Rhydon in this case. So we either run the weaker Pokemon with a really broken ability, or we risk a stronger Pokemon with a terrible ability. Don't remember what that was. I believe it was Weavile. We're going to bring in our fighting Pokemon who is quite effective. Yeah. It was, after all, a Weavile. Oh, by the way, we have Aura Sphere now, which is way better than Force Bomb. Yeah, we don't have the opportunity to paralyze anymore, but Swords Dance and Aura Sphere we can set up with Luca and do some damage for sure. Actually, I don't think Swords Dance would work with that. I think Aura Sphere is special. But we are going to learn counter, or close combat. Just a handful of levels, so we will figure that out. And leading Denny P67 gives us a chance to get a few levels, and like I said, kind of get an idea. Hopefully we can run into a Rhyperior somewhere in this radio tower, and we can find out what they have. So Blaziken is something that normally, especially early on, we'd be a little bit more afraid of, but we are so much higher level than it. We're not worried about the fighting moves. We take it down one shot. Boom. I will say it was kind of, having Umbreon on the team where we were training, there was a bunch of Chanseys in that area, as you saw. We got Denny P67 up with the Chansey. It made life a lot easier having Chanseys there, and Umbreon was doing phenomenal. We trained Umbreon pretty quick. It levels fairly quickly. Feint Attack, we were able to go. I went and bought another TM from the department store here in town. We put Feint Attack on, and it was great. Having Stab, Feint Attack, and Pursuit, Quick Attack, and I can't remember what the other move is, but it's a good Mon. It's especially with TMs. Like I said, my biggest issue with Umbreon isn't that it's a bad. I love Umbreon, probably the best shiny, if not the second best shiny, behind Sylveon in the evolution line. But its learn pool, especially in this game, is meh, right? Well, we got good moves, but we're color changed. So if we get hit with a rock type, we become a rock type, which loses our Stab Dark and loses our immunity to Psychic. Because if we didn't have color change, I'm pretty sure we would be rocking out right this moment with Umbreon on the team rather than Wendy. No offense to Wendy, but such is life. That is the ability that we have. That's 2 Zapdos already in the Rocket Hideout too. We would take a Zapdos. We don't get any counters until we get through the radio tower. We have to get through the radio tower, the underground, come back to the radio tower, get that all done. But once we get that done, we go. There's a little route to the left of the town, just south of Lake of Rage is the town whose name I'm blanking on. Just to the right of that, there's an area there where we got a handful of trainers, and then we can either decide to fish or maybe surf, or if we can get to it, or we can repel. There's a little patch of grass. We could do that. Then there's the little ice tunnel that brings us into Blackthorn. I may go heal up, not because we're low on health or anything like that, but just because we're running lower on Rock Blast, which has been a saving grace of a move for us. So better safe than sorry. Let's go heal up and get ourselves some PP back. Not a ton of trainers in the radio tower. All said and done, that floor had 4. I think no other floor has more than 3. And some of them have 1 Pokemon, some of them have 4 or 5. But like I said, we're 37 minimum on all the team, so we should be fine against the level 20s. It'll be the rival battle. that we'll have to worry about. But if all goes well, we might be able to steamroll this and think about clearing the entirety of this in this episode, and then in episode 17, go take on the eighth, or try to make our way to the eighth and final gym, I should say. And I apologize in advance. I'm going to cough. I've had a habit recently of choking on water. Not really sure why, but that is just what it is. Team Rocket Jill sends out a trap edge. We can take down the trap inch with one hammered arm. Boom. So yeah, it's also Friday. What are you guys doing this weekend? What fun stuff is on the docket for you all? I can tell you in our neck of the woods, wifey has 2 days off. Most of Saturday will be spent sleeping. I am sure. I am hopeful for her sake that that's the case. But also Saturday, one of our favorite little ice cream shops that also sells some like dinner food opens up. It's a little bit further away, but depending on how everything else is going in the weekend and sleep wise, we might sneak over Saturday or Sunday for either dinner Saturday night or maybe lunch Sunday or something. Get ourselves a nice little ice cream treat from our favorite. I'll say local, even though it's not technically local to where we live, but not far away, about an hour, maybe a little bit further than an hour away, but totally worth it. It's a wonderful ice cream shop, so highly recommend it. I know I'm not saying the name of it because I'm not sponsored and don't want to give away exactly where we live, but highly recommend it if you're ever in the area. Yeah, so that might be on the docket this weekend, and otherwise some basketball. Pretty excited because the day that this goes up, earlier today, the men's basketball tournament, a team that I don't really root for other than when they make the tournament, is going to be playing. So fingers crossed that they do well. Today, as we're recording this, my bracket got busted. If you are an NCAA tournament aficionado or at least watching the brackets, do the brackets. For Alligator would have had download. That would have been nice, but it's okay. We move on. We're not scared of the for Alligator because we have water absorb. And we're going to level up here. This is going to be the first time we level up without having the protector on. So this could have been Rhyperior right now. But would Rhyperior have water absorb? Highly doubt it. We can't go there yet until we get the key. Can't get the key until we do the underground stuff. But yeah, my bracket was busted. I haven't followed a ton of college basketball throughout the season. But when I was doing my bracket, I was like, you know what? For some reason, Arizona's really just, it feels right. It feels like Arizona's got something going. I've heard a little bit about them throughout the year. Caught maybe a half dozen games total with that. And I don't know, for some reason, I could feel it. It felt right. And if you weren't aware, and maybe spoiler alert, they lost to the 15 seed, to a 15 seed today. So, it's not going to be Arizona that wins it all. They lost to Princeton, I believe. And then there was, of course, Virginia, who was the only number 1 seed ever to lose to a 16 seed 5 or 6 years ago. And they lost today as a 4th seed to what would that have been, like an 11 seed, a 12? Yeah, had to be to 11 seed. So, you never know. That's what makes March Madness so much fun, though, is you never know. That's what, you want, these stunning upsets. But yeah, I'm not going to win any kind of bracket tournaments. Not that I was really doing any. Some of the online ones where you can enter for free and win, $10 or whatever. But nothing I paid to do, that's for sure. Not worth it right now. Not when I didn't follow anything all year. And I'm glad I didn't because I would have lost immediately. But congratulations to Princeton and all the other teams playing in the tournament this year. Congratulations to Mizzou. I will shout them out as well. I did not go to Mizzou, but I did live in Missouri for a handful of years, so want to give them a shout out for advancing into the second round of the tournament. And dribbling. I don't know if you guys could see them. Just like missed the mouse. Missed my mouth. Which you think would be hard to do with how big of a mouth I have. Everybody's told me that my whole life. It'd be nice to have Zombie right here. I guess we could have put in, I believe, our almost star is Polaris, but such is life. We're not really scared of crab either because we have water absorb. You see, this is. I really thought I was leaning toward evolving it to Rhyperior because there's a sick and twisted part of me that just wants to know what Rhyperior ability, like the ability is. I want to know what the ability is. Curiosity killed the cat. Satisfaction brought him back, right? But then, so I keep thinking I'm leaning toward we're going to throw the Protect Rom, we're just going to evolve it. We're never going to think about it. And yet here we are, 35 minutes into this episode, doing the Rocket Tower, or I keep saying the Rocket Tower, the Radio Tower. And how many times has a water type come out that we don't have to worry about because we have Denny P67 who has water absorb? I'm just saying, I think this episode is proving, maybe, just maybe, status quo isn't a bad thing. Grass is not always greener. Just because Rhyperior is a little bit stronger doesn't mean that Rhydon isn't strong, right? It's not like Rhydon is a bad Pokemon. For 3 generations, there was no Rhyperior. This was the fully evolved form. So, this might be the way to go. Now, if we run into a Rhyperior, again, water type, we don't have to worry about. We can just keep Denny P67 right out there. She can lead the way. She can lead the way. I mean, she's not super effective against water types, sure. And we have a grass type that can do all that. So it's not like the need is dire, right? It's not like, oh, we need somebody that can tank water hits. We have. And we have a backup to our grass type still in the box. And we actually have 2 other backups behind that we haven't trained up. We have an Oddish out there. We have a Bellsprout back there. So it's not like we don't have grass types to eat up some water hits. But we've got Denny P67 who's holding the amulet coin, who's leading the way, making us all this money. Super effective against Delibird with Rock Smash, or Rock Blast, which we're not going to use right now because we only have 4 of them left. And we're going to have like the final boss of this little radio tower soon to come. So we want to maybe conserve some of those. Use Stomp, which is strong enough. We're over leveled, all that nonsense. The more and more we do this, right? The more and more. It's looking like Denny P67 as a Rhydon might make sense. Now, if we run into Rhyperior and we can determine, oh, it has water absorb, or it gives us a hit and we're like, ooh, that's gotta be huge power. Okay, let's talk about things. Now, this is a little bit risky because level 30, but it's not fully evolved. It's 7 levels lower. This is super effective, but it's not stab coming from Mischievous. We should be fine. I know that Wendy is a bit of a glass cannon. The confusion's not great, but if we can break through the confusion, one shot, we kill this Mischievous. We don't break through the confusion, it does good damage to us. Psybeam will do okay, as long as it doesn't crit, which we've had a lot of recently. So we're going to play this smart. We've been hurt before, We're not going to risk anything here, because if we don't heal up, we hit ourselves in confusion, Psybeam take us down. We've seen that movie. We know how that goes. That's okay. We weren't planning to leave. We're planning to take you down. We're planning to break through confusion right here on this hit. We're gonna snap out. Beautiful. We knew this was gonna happen. This is good place. This is good place. Not thinking about explosion. Not a good play. Healing up. Good play. We'll get there. We'll get better. It's all good. We'll take down this faux director guy. debating there whether we use Stomp or Rock Blast. We've only got 4 Rock Blasts left. He's still got 4 or 5 Pokemon left. Curlia. We're going to bring a Wendy. Super effective. Curlia probably has Confusion, which can be super effective against us, but we're likely going to outspeed. We're a fast Mon. We're super effective against it. Ghost over Psychic. That should one-shot. Boom. We're going to stand against Mr. Mime. Same thing. We're going to Shadow Ball, take it down, one-shot. Boom. And this is why Wendy's on the team. This is why Wendy's on the team. 3 of the last 4 Pokemon have been Wendy's to deal with, and Wendy has dealt. Tangela, we don't have anything super effective, so let's just keep Wendy out there. Wendy can still hit it pretty strong. What's also great about Wendy's, we have Nightshade. So as we encounter some stronger Pokemon, we can throw Wendy out there, Nightshade them down a little bit to get some damage without being too afraid of killing. We do have a Dark type move, so we can hit normal types, but we will switch back into Denny P67. The other thing we can do is think about taking the Amulet Coin off of Denny P67 at some point, putting it on like Broticon or Luca or someone else, and just training them that way too, of having them lead, giving them first crack at any battles. We're not going to learn Brine because we're going to teach Surf and eventually Waterfall and all that fun stuff. Smeargle is the ace, or at least the last Pokemon. They might have sent the ace out earlier. I wasn't really paying attention to levels. We're not worried about that. So we saved the Rock Blast and we didn't use any of them in this battle, but that is fine. Better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. That's what I say sometimes, every once in a while. And there's the basement key, so we're going to clear out the underground again. And then come back up for a handful of additional trainer battles. I think what we're going to do, because we are over 41 minutes here, is we're going to go heal up, and then we're going to go down into the underground. And I think what we're going to do is take on the rival, which, again, can be the kind of sketchy battle here. And then we wrap the episode up after the rival battle and start off episode 17. Just finishing this up real quick, going up and doing a handful of other trainers, and then getting a couple of encounters and making our way to Blackthorn. And then once we're in Blackthorn, we've got ourselves a gym for episode 18. And then probably episode 18 will end up being the gym, the little cave behind the gym. We'll get ourselves another encounter there and a static. And then we can go through to where the Fighting Dojo Master is now. He's not in the Fighting Dojo in Kanto. He's actually in the middle of a mountain here, which we've been in a couple times, but haven't had Waterfall yet, so we couldn't go face him. We can do that in episode 18 and get a static there once we beat him, which is typically, I believe, the High Rogue. Of course, we'll have all of the wonderful dancing ladies to go take down typically your evolution battles. Maybe we'll have to throw Umbreon on the team just for that. I think that makes the most sense. We'll take on our trainer battle right here. One step down is going to trigger that. Then we'll wrap the episode up there. So let's see what we can't do against the trainer battle. This one, again, can be a little bit of a scarier trainer battle. I have definitely lost the lock here on several occasions. I've definitely lost Pokemon on several occasions. So let's see how we do in this run. Right here. All right. Fear. We're not afraid of fear. We're not afraid of Mudkip because we have Water Absorb. That has been the theme of the episode, I believe. Bide we don't love, but I am 99.6% sure that we are going to at least two-shot this, if not one-shot it, so Bide doesn't matter. We move on to the next one. Garchomp. Now, zombie would have been the way to go. Zombie would have been the way to go. We're just going to run Denny P67. We're higher level. If it's not going to have Earthquake, it might have Dig, which would be the only thing that's super effective against us. Sandstorm's not even going to affect us. Zombie would have been quad effective with an Aurora Beam, so that would have been nice. But we don't have Zombie anymore. And that's sad, and we can mourn the loss, obviously, but we want to celebrate Zombie. Zombie got us this far. We would not be rough skin on Garchomp, by the way. We would not be at this battle without everything Zombie did, especially in the early game. The MVP, the Shadow, or the Legend Killer for so long. The Shadow Killer too. Why not? But it's good to know that that Garchomp has rough skin, so that when we later evolve our Gabite into a Garchomp, we know what we're getting. So far, so good. I just had this moment where I'm like, oh boy, a Gyarados. We don't have an electric type because we don't have a Thunderstone, so we haven't trained a Pikachu. We didn't catch the Magneton. What are we gonna do? Water attacks aren't gonna hurt us. Flying attacks aren't gonna hurt us. We're super effective with Rock Blast. Denny P67 having Water Absorb. Theme of the episode. And it's one use of the move. 2 rocks, 1 Gyarados, down. This has gone quite well. Another level that could be a Rhyperior, but I think this episode has proven to us that maybe, just maybe, Rhydon is the way to go. And if ever we change our mind, if ever we're like, we don't need this, we don't want this anymore, it's an easy fix to put that on, put the protector on, gain a level. Now, our imagination, right? Our rival, our fear, right? Used its imagination to say, what is the one thing that can stop us? What is the one thing continuously that has stopped us in this challenge? Yes, we've battled some strong, tough Pokemon, some trainers who have had Latios, unless it was Latios. We had the explosion, but really, it was us, right? Wendy could have eaten that explosion. It wouldn't have been touched her. So what did our rival think? The only way it could take down us was to be us. But as we have said 1,000 times in this run, we will not let fear beat us. We will not flinch again to stop. We will conquer our fear. One hammer arm at a time. It only takes one. You think even us can beat us? No. We're going to make this work. We're going to chip away. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up right there. We have beaten the rival yet again. We have a handful of trainers left to go down here. We have a handful of trainers back in the radio tower. We will conquer that on Saturday's episode. It's Friday night, so enjoy yourselves. Be responsible, but enjoy. Have fun. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We will see you tomorrow on the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, until next time.